Alright, what's going on, everybody? It's on the the Godslayer. We're back in another Warframe video. I am still recording on my laptop, so things will not be at the highest quality that you guys are used to with me. I'm gonna do my best to get my main computer back up and running. We're still working on it. But I did want to get into Warframe's got a new 10.0, well, a new Warframe out called Temple. I wanted to spend a little time seeing what we can do with it, see what we want to do with it. I'm actually kind of cool with its colors for right now. This seems to be like the male version of Octavia. We'll see. Let's jump in here.
Together, operator. Now get out there and
cut down the...
and make the Lotus proud.
Alright, we're gonna go ahead and grab one of these real fast, because I don't feel like dealing with it. Alright. That's the good thing about trading, guys. If you ever wanna make platinum without some money, without having to spend real money, go out there and get prime parts, sell them for and you can get whole sets, sell your sets. You can usually get like what, 100 plat, around close to 100 plat for just normal sets. But then like if there are some sets that are like highly desired, you can go on Warframe.market, I believe it's called. And you can see the you can kind of like see what the prices for Warframe prime parts are going for. It's mainly prime parts, so you're gonna want to do a lot of relics for that. But we're getting into this baby. Temple. Alright. What is this passive? Play abilities in sync with the backbeat metronome to invigorate ability effects while increasing ability efficiency. Okay. Blast targeted enemies with pillars of heat damage. Backbeat timing, ignite even more pillars. Increases the duration and heat damage of Ripper's Wail when it deals damage. Okay. Drive loudspeakers into ambient distortion to create a damaging wave. Also, while increasing vulnerability to critical chance. Okay. Doubles critical chance, increases the duration of Ripper's Wail. Okay, again. Ripper's Wail. Okay, this is a drain ability. This is a powered up drain ability here. Rip on the guitar to make Temple briefly invulnerable while healing them. Allies' weapons in affinity range are lit up with extra heat damage. Each time an ability is used on the backbeat, it essentially hits enemies. Backbeat timing and vulnerability lasts longer. Okay. Exalted Solo. Once a charge has been built up on the backbeat metronome, set Lizzie aflame and torch enemies with. While aimed, Lizzie blasts enemies with thunderous elementals. Use ability controls to change the elemental type. No energy consumed. Okay, hold on. Does this thing? Okay. Okay, so first, let me just reloading warps. Back into the pit, causing a small explosion at their points of origin. Okay. Okay, so this just got radial attack. So if it's got radial attack off Jump Street, we gotta put on where's it at? Does this weapon have it? Yep. On Jump Street, we gotta put that on. Okay, it's got blast. With the Hornet Strike. Because I don't really know how this weapon's gonna. With the, and we'll practice with this weapon. Just see what this weapon feels like first and foremost. For this, I guess we'll do. We'll just do that. Okay, yeah. So we're good on. Okay, good. All right. So I guess we'll throw on some normal, some normal shit that we know we would want to put on. I guess first we'll throw on some survivability mods. Where's my go-to? Where's my go-to on this? Oh, there it is. Do I have? Yeah, we do have Vigilante Vigor. All right. Oops. Okay, so what are we dealing with here? What do we got? Do we have a lot of... We got radius. We got a lot of range going on here. We got some duration. Okay, so we want... Mainly, we want some range. So we do want to get stretch out here. And we do want some duration, so we're gonna need to pull out. Actually, should be back here. Well. Where's the line? Oh, there it is. Give me some good duration. Give me some decent range. just so that my shit ain't just weak as hell either, I'm gonna need some intensify. Where is my intensify? I think I just missed it. Where did I put my intensifier? Where in the world? Okay, this stuff is supposed to be alphabetical order, I think. I'm guessing not. Or am I just... Because that's continuity. There it is. Okay, intensify. And I think I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna slap this on just for some extra power. Alright. In terms of arcanes, I don't really know what I really... Well, we'll do this. And we'll do this. Alright, I'm gonna see how this thing plays. Oop. We're gonna take him out to Sedna. See how he plays. Probably in a Yep. Okay.
Transference still holding. Come on. Us and we will counter.
Move away.
Extraction is ready. Unless you can handle more
Okay.
of the enemy.
So what does number 2
Keep
do
fighting.
here?
Another opportunity to extract will appear soon.
Okay.
Let's go. For the tenth. Let's go on the offensive.
Reinforcements available. Do you choose to leave now or continue fighting? Continue to defend. You will be rewarded for your bravery.
For the Lotus. and strike. We have to win this. Let's go on the offensive.
Take that, baby.
Okay, so he's like a... So he seems like a nuker.
Reinforcements available. Do you choose to leave now or continue fighting? Very impressive, Tenno. You held them all back. Time to get out of here.
Come on.
Okay, I haven't got to really use his 4. So okay, I gotta. Okay, I want to wrap my head around this. I need to wrap my head around exactly what I'm supposed to be doing here, build wise. Okay, let's try to wrap our head around this build wise, because I'm not exactly sure exactly what it's asking me for. Okay. Ah, so I have Lizzie now, apparently. Okay.
Stand by while I analyze the intelligence profiles of the Grineer. Error, not a number. Did the operator enjoy this witticism?
Okay. Okay, so I think rank. Okay, so I think the 4th ability if I'm yes, the fourth ability is with Lizzie. Okay. Okay. So that nukes. Okay. Okay, and this is basically a buff. So the max duration is that, heat damage is that, heat damage cap 750, invulnerability 4 seconds. Okay. Okay. And so I guess Lizzie is magnetic wave, cold wave, corrosive wave. So you can go from corrosive, cold, magnetic, viral. Huh. So I'm basically looking at a status weapon. Oh, it's a beam weapon. Okay, it's a beam. It's a beam weapon. I was like, yeah. I was like, I know I got some beam shit in here. I know I do. Definitely need to put that on. Okay. Combustion beam. Yep. Definitely need to put combustion beam on. It's a beam weapon, so accuracy probably doesn't really have a big. Laceration is one of the things I do need to put on. Maybe I can fit on. Maybe I can fit on one. Woo! Just barely. Okay. That's wild that I could put an arcane on that. That's why I could do that. All right. All right. Let's try one more run using that using that 4 and see how that 4 works.
At our doorstep. You must defend our equipment until reinforcements arrive.
The Grineer used to be builders, but now all they make is war. Move and strike. We have to win this. Lotus. And we will counter.
Okay. We look charged up.
Extraction is ready, unless you can handle more of the enemy. Continue to defend. You will be rewarded for your bravery.
Let's go on the offensive.
Okay. He's definitely a fire-based Warframe. Say that much. You know that.
Move and strike. We have to win this.
Takes care of you.
Reinforcements available. Do you choose to leave now or continue fighting? That's
Yeah.
the last of them. Objective is secure. Let's go home.
Let's go.
Okay. So the 4 is a flamethrower, basically. That's basically what the 4 is. It's a flamethrower. So he's basically like a rock version of Ember. He's like Ember and I would have to say Ember. Yeah, he's right, David Bowie frame. David Bowie frame for real. But like he is more like he's like a combination of Ember and he's like a combination of Ember and Sharon. And the reason why I say Sharon, you might would have thought I would have said Octavia, but he now after playing him, he reminds me more of like Sharon and Ember combined. Ember because of her 1, which is basically, well, not her 1, but like her 4. Her 4 is basically his 1, where she calls down a bunch of like, you know, I'll show you. Like, it'd probably be better if I just showed it to you. Like, if you look at Ember's 4,
Operator, Ordis is sorry. Happy to report that all my good jokes are gone.
so like if you take a look at Ember and you look at her 4, right? You take a look at her 4, Inferno. That's basically what's happening, just in reverse. When you look at him, right? His first ability makes explosions happen, kind of like Sharon's 4. I mean, Ember's 4. The 2 is like Ember's. I believe Ember's 2. Yeah, no, it's I think it's Ember's 4. Yeah, 3. His 2 is kind of like Ember's 3, and his 3 is kind of like Saren's Toxic Lash, in the sense that it gives everybody a fire buff to their weapons. How Saren's let me see if I can find her real quick. Like, for instance, how Saren's ability Toxic Lash basically spreads buffs and gives attacks additional toxin damage. You know, Well, it's like her toxic lash when she has her augment on, because she has an augment that will spread that toxic lash buff to everybody else's weapons and stuff. So that's what his 3 is like, and his 4 is basically a flamethrower. Again, it's like a beam flamethrower, which I was expecting. Well, I can't say I was expecting a ton from him in terms of that. Like in terms of like, I don't know. I mean, he's another music frame. Technically, he's a music frame, but I don't think there was much you could ask for in terms of using music as a weapon again, because you know they kind of did it in a complete way with Octavia. So I can see that they wanted to kind of make a rocker, basically like a rocker frame, but they didn't want to so much as make them, you know, completely music based, because it would be like copying Octavia, I guess. So they made him more of a nuke friendly frame. He's more of a nuker. Like this is a class that I'm probably gonna run a lot of strength on this class. A lot of strength and yeah, he's gonna probably be a strength and enduring, and I mean enduration. I mean, because he don't need much range. Because like for instance, if we can look at
As ready as you will ever be.
because the only range I'm looking for is this, in terms of like and I think this doesn't have to necessarily be range, because it's all allies weapons within affinity range, so I don't even have to worry about actually bringing the range up on this. And the duration will more than likely, yes, like if I can get it up to 60 seconds, which I really shouldn't have a problem doing, because again, he's only level 19, and yeah, this move is only rank 1, so I'm pretty sure I can get it to 60, and without having to push too hard. Like the only thing I might have to actually try and push to get up is the heat damage, you know, and that's just with some more strength added on, and that's not even counting the fact that I've got 130, and then I have another 50 every time I have this. So if I pop it with this, that's 180 percent strength right there. So I might just need like a few more tweaks to the strength mods. I might have to put a strength mod on the Exilis slot up there, and then we could probably look at, that's all the strength I'll probably need. And then going forward, we can just, you know, kind of invest in, I guess you could say, quality of life stuff. I don't think he's going to be he's going to be somebody you're going to probably need to put a couple of form in, maybe 2. But I don't see this frame as being any more than like a 3 former frame, in terms of like, if you really want to get everything out of him as the frame itself. I think, you know, you probably won't need to do anything but maybe 3 forma. I'd say 4 or 5 if you were trying to go a more I guess you could say, if you were trying to like penny pinch, I would say 5. If you really wanted to get as much strength damage out of him as possible, you would probably want to go like 4 or 5 forma. But I don't see it going any higher than that for real. Like it took me doing 7 forma on my Necros, my main, in order to kind of pull out the build I wanted to do with him. But I'm not so much as sure. It'll depend on, like, I guess it'll depend on, because it's not really much to work around. Like, I can only see you working around his 3 or his 1. But if you work around his 3 or his 1, you're gonna automatically power his 4, because the mods you would need to power the 1 and the 3, you would be able, it will automatically benefit the 4. So his kit is actually surprisingly balanced too, in that sense. Like, focusing on one thing will automatically help another in terms of his abilities. So that's good. So, in all honesty, you may be able to actually. He might be one of the few frames that you can get away with making him super strong, while at the same time being able to put like comfort mods on. What I mean by comfort mods is like you might be able to put on like, you know, some constitution mods, things that kind of like not, you know, like nullify knockdown, or, you know, mods that like you might even be able to put like a speed mod on him, you know, so you can run faster or something like that. You might be able to put those kind of mods, comfort mods, mods that make the Warframe feel more comfortable to use, you know, because sometimes there's a lot of frames that if you really want to eke out the biggest amount of power on them, you won't be able to actually take a full usage of like comfort mods. And that's where you end up relying on Warframes that you're partying with to kind of give you some comfort, like Volt with his speed and things of that nature. Of course, he's going to synergize very well with Heat, and he's going to more than likely synergize well as with things like, because his Heat procs probably are going to be. I don't think he's a dot frame. I don't think he's really a dot frame, because a lot of his damage seems to come out instantaneously. It's not like the dots are kind of like just, you know, they're just the side product or the byproduct of having a flame elements based Warframe. So I don't think you're really gonna care about the actual flame dots. You're gonna really be wanting to just make sure when you hit that button that the damage that comes out is good, it's hard, it's hitting. You know what I'm saying? It's painful. And when it comes to his 3, you're mainly just gonna wanna be able to you're mainly gonna, because you're not gonna care about the healing. The healing isn't really the problem, or isn't really the big thing. The invulnerability is gonna be a big thing, and the heat damage. You're gonna want to try to push that to the highest of caps. You know, you're gonna want to try to push that to the highest of caps, because you're basically gonna be giving everybody in your group a huge flame buff. You know. And, you know, I don't know, if fire did more, it'll probably be cooler if fire as an element did a little bit more. But, like, you know, I mean, how many flame Warframes do we have in the game for real? Just Ember, really. And I mean, well, I think we've only got one cold frame. I don't mean, like, it's just Frost in terms of cold, I believe, right? And we've got 2 water frames. Technically, we've got 2 water frames, Hydroid and Amon-Rellik. You're really, yeah. So I mean, I don't know. It seems surprisingly basic, but at the same time, it's fine because it's not broken. You know what I mean? It's not broken. I don't see them nerfing this dude for real. But then at the same time, it's because they kind of played it so safe with him that, you know, if they ever did nerf anything with him, I would be surprised. Simply because of how safe of a Warframe he is. Like, they didn't reach down into the bottom and the depths of their creativity and pulled out something wacky and crazy. You know, this is actually rather tame for a Warframe in terms of abilities. But at the same time, I guess, you know, this is probably one of those Warframes that you could jump in and get. It's one of those Warframes where if you really just wanted to focus more on, you know, running and gunning and you know, and a lot less of, you know, constantly having to spam powers everywhere, because again, his powers are really just nuke. They're just nuke heavy powers. So, you know, you're going to be hitting those buttons probably. You're going to probably be hitting the buttons often enough. You know, this is Warframe after all. But you probably won't be hitting them to keep everybody alive. You see what I'm saying? You won't be something like trying to play, high-end Vauban. You know what I'm saying? Where your ability to control the map can decide whether your team is getting murdered or not. Or playing something like Gara, where like your ability to get these shields up and be able to put your splinter buff on people properly, that's not going to be the difference between people getting one shot or something like that. Like this character doesn't really have that much team utility outside of the 3, it seems. So, and that's just basically an all-round damage buff. One you can put up every 30 seconds, you know what I'm saying? Or basically every 30 seconds or so. So it's like, it's not egregious. Nothing he has seems like to be particularly egregious. I'm pretty sure you'll probably get some people throwing damage numbers out of whack. You might get some people who can kind of like, who will probably juice the shit out of his strength, because that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna juice the shit out of his strength, because just about everything he does relies on the strength of that flame. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And I did like how they did to put the little thing in the middle of the screen where you have to kind of like time your abilities by. That's like the one thing about it that they did make, where it's like, okay, it's not just a click button and fall asleep type of a Warframe. You know what I'm saying? Because like, you can't get any simpler than this in terms of a Warframe's design. It's extremely simple. I'm not sure. I wonder if that's why they named him Temple, but because he's extremely simple, and the only thing you have to worry about is hitting your abilities in the right timing frame of that little thing in the middle of the screen. But even then, you can just find somewhere to stop, pay attention to it real quick, hit it, and then keep moving. But in order to like do that while like spamming the 1 and be able to hit that perfectly, it seems wide enough to where you probably wouldn't have to worry about it too many times. Like, you might not get perfect hits every time, but you should be able to get perfect hits multiple times without even really thinking about it, because it's so wide. The gap that you have for hitting it in the actual perfect position, that gap is wide as hell. So even then, it's not that much of a skill gap. So yeah, I mean, he's cool. He's cool design, He's got that, that wacky. I don't know if you ever played the game Evil Zone, but he's got that Zanzibar, not Zanzibar, but I can't remember what his name. I can't remember the guy's damn name, but he was the undead rocker. I can't remember what his name was, but yeah, just look up Evil Zone and just look up the undead rocker dude. That guy. He was my favorite character in that game too. I love that guy. But like, he's got that little vibe going to him a little bit. Like I said, it's cool. I'm gonna probably throw some design on him real quick. And in the next video, once I've gotten him up there and I've gotten him set up a little ways, I'll do another video where I'll talk more in depth on maybe how to play him and things of that nature. Because again, it doesn't seem like we're gonna have to have like any big nuances. Kind of like how Necros has a lot of nuances to how you can play him. This frame doesn't really seem to have that much nuance for real in how you can play them. And so the next video shouldn't be too big of a deal. I'll probably come up with that video a couple of days from now. I'm gonna spend today and tomorrow leveling him up, seeing what he's got going on. And we are going to finish up the Hex finale. I'm still working on the for the reputation grind for that. So we got a couple of videos still coming. Hopefully they'll come on the new computer. Well, not on the new computer, but on my regular computer, so that I can give you guys, nice 2K 60 frames instead of a laptop version of the game. But we're gonna get that done, and I will see you guys in the next one. Amon-Rellik the God Slayer, Amon-Rellik Gaming. We out.